Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Who dictates the value of your life? Is it the people around you, the society that constantly watches and judges, or is it something deeper within you? In a world where our every action can be scrutinized and commented on, it might feel like our self-worth is in everyone's hands but our own. But let me share something revolutionary with you, drawn from the ancient wisdom of Stoicism. Your true value comes from within, not from the applause or the critiques of the crowd. Today, we're diving into how embracing Stoic principles can transform your understanding of self-worth, help you navigate the noise of societal expectations, and guide you towards a more authentic, resilient life. We're not just scratching the surface, we're going deep, challenging you to look inside rather than around you for validation. And I warn you, some of the ideas we'll explore might be radical if you're firmly anchored in seeking external approval. If you're ready to challenge the conventional, to delve into the profound teachings of Stoicism, and if you're looking for ways to cultivate a life that's truly your own, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with others who are on their own journeys of personal growth and philosophical exploration. Stay with us till the end to uncover how ancient wisdom is more relevant today than ever, and why sometimes the most profound truths about ourselves and our lives require us to confront and question everything we thought we knew. The trap of external validation. Let's unpack something we all encounter but rarely pause to deeply understand: the trap of external validation. It's a snare laid out by our culture, intricately woven into our everyday interactions, where the number of likes, comments, or followers can seem to dictate our happiness and self-esteem. But is our worth truly just a collection of external affirmations? Stoicism, a philosophy that dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, challenges this notion robustly. Stoics teach us that the only true good lies in our own virtues, our wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. They argue that external factors, including other people's opinions, are beyond our control and, critically, indifferent to our true happiness. Imagine living in a state where your inner peace isn't shaken by a critical comment online or a disapproving glance in a public space. Stoicism isn't just about endurance, it's about recognizing what truly deserves your energy. Now think about the times when you've posted something online. There's often an almost immediate urge to check for reactions. Each notification acts like a mini reward, a hit that momentarily boosts your ego. But it's fleeting, isn't it? Soon you're checking again, hungry for more. This cycle can be addictive, pulling us further into seeking external validation and further away from self-reliance and personal contentment. What's worse, this hunger for external validation doesn't just stay online, it seeps into our real lives. We start molding our behaviors, our appearances, even our life choices to fit into what we think will earn us applause and approval. But here's a Stoic truth. When you base your happiness on the opinions of others, you give away your power. You become dependent on a foundation that's as unstable as the ever-changing opinions around you. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote, focusing on self-validation. It encourages us to turn inward, to seek our own approval. For Stoics, the goal is to cultivate an inner citadel, impervious to external shocks. This isn't about dismissing others, but rather about changing the weight their views carry. It's about finding freedom in understanding that you can exist completely and joyously with the approval that comes from within, grounded in your own values and actions. By prioritizing internal validation over external, we start to free ourselves from the trap. We begin to act with a purpose that resonates deeply with our true selves, not with a fleeting image crafted for societal applause. This shift isn't simple and it's not quick, but it is profoundly liberating. It empowers you to live authentically, to choose paths that align with your principles, and ultimately, to lead a life that is not just reactive to external inputs, but proactive in fulfilling your own definition of success. Self-worth from within. Stepping into the realm of Stoicism, we find a refreshing approach to self-worth that deviates radically from today's norm. The Stoic philosophy, grounded in the teachings of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, presents a compelling viewpoint that self-worth should emanate from within, rather than being a reflection of external validations. Let's delve into this a bit more deeply. Stoicism teaches us that true value isn't something you can gain or lose through the opinions of others. It's something inherently yours, rooted deeply in your virtues and the choices you make in alignment with those virtues. What does this mean in practical terms? It means that your worth is independent of how many people like your social media post, compliment your outfit, or applaud your achievements. These external factors are not bad, of course, but they are not the bedrock upon which you should build your sense of value. For Stoics, the core of self-worth lies in living according to reason, in harmony with your own nature, and in embracing virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. It's about asking yourself, am I making decisions that I can stand by? Am I living truthfully and ethically? This internal dialogue fosters a kind of self-respect that is unshakable because it doesn't rely on external circumstances. It's self-generated and self-sustained. Consider the Stoic practice of daily reflection, often conducted through journaling or meditative thought. This isn't just about self-improvement, it's a method of reinforcing your internal value system. Every night reflecting on your day, not to berate yourself for mistakes or to tally up your successes, but to honestly evaluate your actions against your values. This practice helps to solidify the understanding that your worth is defined by your ability to live virtuously, not by the shifting sands of public opinion. Now, embracing this Stoic approach doesn't mean you become indifferent to others. Rather, it's about recalibrating the influence external voices have on your sense of self. In a Stoic mindset, feedback from others is not a measure of your worth, but rather information that can be used to improve your alignment with Stoic virtues. It's about transforming criticism and praise alike into tools for personal growth, without letting them disturb your inner peace. The beauty of viewing self-worth as something that comes from within is that it becomes much more stable and controllable. You're no longer at the mercy of others' whims or the societal pressures that push you to conform. Instead, you gain the freedom to pursue a life that truly reflects who you are, grounded in the sound principles of Stoic philosophy. Cultivating inner courage. Diving into the concept of inner courage through the lens of Stoicism, we uncover an empowering aspect of this ancient philosophy. Courage, in the Stoic sense, is not just about heroic acts or facing physical challenges. It's about the everyday bravery required to live authentically and adhere to your principles, despite external pressures and fears. Inner courage is foundational in Stoicism. It's about having the fortitude to confront your own flaws and fears, and choosing actions that align with your deeper values, rather than those that simply seek to avoid discomfort or gain social approval. This type of courage asks you to look inward, to question not just what you do, but why you do it. Are your actions driven by a genuine belief in their rightness, or are they influenced by a desire for external validation or a fear of disapproval? Consider the scenario where you stand up for an unpopular but just cause. The courage here isn't just in the act of standing up, but in overcoming the internal battle against your own doubts and fears. Stoic courage means maintaining your course even when it's rocky, trusting that your internal compass is set on virtue. Expanding on this, Stoicism teaches us that true courage involves not only facing external challenges, but also internal vulnerabilities. It's about being willing to accept and work through your emotions, including those like fear and anxiety, viewing them as natural human experiences rather than weaknesses. This acceptance doesn't mean being led by these emotions, but rather observing them with a rational mind and deciding your actions based on wisdom, not whim. This form of courage is deeply liberating. It frees you from the tyranny of trying to control what is outside your power, like other people's opinions or every life outcome. Instead, it steers you toward what you can control: your beliefs, your decisions, your virtues. When you live this way, guided by inner courage, you're not just reacting to the world, you're actively shaping your life in accordance with your true self. Stoic courage also involves the readiness to revise your beliefs and actions in light of new understanding or better reasoning. This adaptability is a form of bravery because it requires you to let go of perhaps long-held beliefs when they no longer stand up to rational scrutiny. It's about having the courage to grow and evolve, recognizing that Stoic wisdom is not about having all the answers, but about seeking them with an open, yet discerning mind. In cultivating this inner courage, we build a resilience that's deeply Stoic. It's a resilience that doesn't just help us endure, but helps us thrive, transforming life's inevitable challenges into opportunities for personal development. Each difficulty becomes a chance to practice virtue, to reinforce our commitment to our Stoic principles, and to deepen our understanding of what it means to live a good life. Embracing vulnerability as a strength. Embracing vulnerability might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Stoicism, but it's a surprisingly robust aspect of this philosophy. Vulnerability often gets a bad rap, seen as a sign of weakness or something to be hidden away. However, Stoicism invites us to rethink this notion entirely. It teaches us that vulnerability is not just inevitable, but also a significant strength when approached with wisdom and self-awareness. Let's break this down. Stoicism acknowledges that we are all subject to emotions, mistakes, and misfortunes. We are human after all. The Stoic strength lies not in denying these human traits, but in embracing them with acceptance and rationality. Vulnerability in Stoicism is about recognizing our fears, uncertainties, and limitations, and then facing them with courage and integrity. Consider the idea that being vulnerable requires more courage than hiding your true feelings or pretending everything is fine. It involves opening up about your struggles and doubts, not so others can fix them, but so you can confront them openly and work through them constructively. This is a key part of Stoic practice, using rational thought to navigate our emotions and transform potential weaknesses into avenues for growth and self-improvement. But why view vulnerability as a strength? Because it allows for genuine self-reflection and growth. By acknowledging your vulnerabilities, you give yourself a chance to address them. You turn them from shadowy fears that control you from the background into challenges that you can meet head-on. This kind of engagement builds true resilience, the Stoic kind that's based on understanding and wisdom rather than mere grit or denial. Moreover, embracing vulnerability fosters deeper connections with others. When you're honest about your weaknesses, you create space for others to do the same. This can lead to more meaningful and supportive relationships, both personally and in a broader community context. Stoicism promotes not isolation, but a community of rational and supportive relationships, founded on honest, virtuous interactions. Embracing vulnerability also aligns with the Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. When you accept that some aspects of life, like emotions and other people's actions, are out of your control, you're freed to focus on how you respond to them. Vulnerability then becomes a practice ground for exercising control over your reactions and decisions, not over the external world. Vulnerability, when embraced, leads to a more authentic existence. It allows Stoics to confront and accept their true selves, with all the imperfections and uncertainties. This acceptance doesn't weaken them. Instead, it strengthens their resolve to live according to Stoic virtues. Building resilience through Stoic practices. Building resilience might often be talked about in the context of simply bouncing back from hardships. But through the lens of Stoicism, it gains a deeper, more profound meaning. Stoic practices don't just prepare us to recover from difficulties. They reframe our entire perspective on what it means to be resilient, transforming potential setbacks into powerful opportunities for growth and self-mastery. Resilience in Stoicism is rooted in the philosophy's central tenet, understanding and working within the dichotomy of control. Stoics focus intensely on differentiating between what is within our control, our own thoughts, behaviors and reactions, and what is not, namely the external events and the actions of others. This focus is not passive resignation, but an active, empowering practice. By concentrating our energies only on what we can influence, we conserve our mental resources and remain steadfast in the face of life's unpredictabilities. Take, for example, the Stoic practice of daily reflection, often known as the evening meditation. In this practice, Stoics review the day's events, not to dwell on what went wrong externally, but to evaluate their own responses and prepare for future challenges. This kind of introspection builds resilience by fostering a habit of learning from every situation. Instead of feeling defeated by setbacks, Stoics use them as stepping stones, gathering insights on how to handle similar situations better in the future. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us the art of perception management, a key to resilience. How we perceive a challenge determines our response to it. If we view difficulties as insurmountable obstacles, we are more likely to feel overwhelmed. However, if we see them as natural, expected tests of our character and resolve, we approach them with a more constructive attitude. This shift doesn't diminish the reality of hardship, but empowers us to face it with dignity and purpose. Another Stoic tool for building resilience is the premeditation of evils, known as premeditatio malorum. This practice involves visualizing potential challenges and setbacks. Far from being pessimistic, this prepares the mind to handle difficult situations if they arise, reducing the shock and dismay that can accompany unexpected difficulties. It's a resilience training of the mind, enabling Stoics to remain composed and pragmatic, no matter the circumstances. Moreover, resilience in Stoicism is also about maintaining a commitment to our values, regardless of external pressures. This is seen in the Stoic idea of amor fati, a love of fate. Stoics strive to not only accept but embrace whatever life throws their way, trusting that every experience has value and can contribute to their moral and philosophical development. This acceptance is not passive, it's an active engagement with life, choosing to see the growth potential in all experiences, good or bad. In practical terms, building resilience through Stoic practices means developing a mindset that views life's challenges as integral to our personal and ethical development. It's about cultivating an inner strength that doesn't crumble under pressure, but grows more robust with each challenge faced. Focusing on your own path. This isn't about isolation or ignoring the needs and good advice of others. It's about ensuring that the choices we make and the life we live are genuinely ours, not merely reflections of societal expectations or the desires of those around us. The Stoic practice of focusing on one's own path is deeply intertwined with the idea of self-sufficiency, not in the material sense, but in an emotional and intellectual sense. Stoics believe in developing an inner fortitude that relies less on external sources of happiness and more on inner peace and rational thought. This doesn't mean that Stoics advocate for emotional coldness. Rather, they strive for a state where their happiness is not disproportionately dependent on the fluctuating external circumstances. By centering our lives around our own judgments, guided by reason and virtue, we navigate life's challenges with a clearer perspective. Think of Marcus Aurelius, who amidst the immense pressures of ruling an empire sought solace and strength in his Stoic beliefs. He focused on his own path, not just to rule effectively, but to live a life of personal integrity and virtue. His reflections encourage us to question, are we making decisions because they are right and good, or because we fear judgment or crave approval? Focusing on your own path also involves recognizing and embracing the concept of the obstacle is the way, another Stoic principle which teaches that obstacles should not be viewed merely as hindrances, but as opportunities for growth. When we focus on our path, every challenge becomes a chance to apply Stoic virtues such as courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. This mindset shifts how we view our journey, not as a smooth road to be traversed with ease, but as a series of learning moments that shape us into wiser, more virtuous individuals. Moreover, this Stoic practice helps in cultivating personal responsibility. It's about owning up to our choices and their consequences. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control what happens to us, we have absolute power over how we respond. Thus, focusing on your own path means taking charge of your responses to life's vicissitudes. It means not blaming others or circumstances for your unhappiness or failures, but instead looking internally, understanding what you can do differently, and making rational choices that align with your deepest values. This autonomy is liberating, but also challenging. It requires constant vigilance against the allure of following the crowd or taking the easy way out. It demands daily reflection, a staple of Stoic practice, where one reviews their actions and intentions to ensure they remain true to their philosophical commitments. In essence, focusing on your own path is about authenticity. It's about crafting a life that truly reflects who you are and aspire to be, not molded by external pressures, but shaped by your reasoned choices and virtuous conduct. As we each walk our paths, let's be guided by Stoicism's rich wisdom, using it to illuminate our way, making choices that are not just expedient, but right and good, both for ourselves and for the larger community. By embracing this Stoic commitment to focus on our own paths, we not only forge lives of true fulfillment, but also contribute to a world where integrity and virtue are the compasses by which we all navigate. Thank you for joining me today and for being an integral part of our Stoic Journal community. Remember, the journey to living a Stoic life is not just about enduring the tough times, but about transforming them into profound opportunities for personal growth and wisdom. As you continue on your path, embrace every moment with courage and integrity, and let Stoicism guide you to a life of true fulfillment. Don't forget to watch one of the suggested videos on your screen to dive deeper into Stoic practices and principles. Thank you for your time and dedication to bettering yourselves through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Until next time, keep focusing on your own path and live virtuously.